Welcome back. You're still with us on Startup Street. With a huge boom in digital adoption, we've seen the emergence of a whole host of D2C brands in India that are cashing in on this new digital savvy consumer. Today, we put the spotlight on one such startup, Suta, a lifestyle brand which started as a Facebook page. Today, it has a full-fledged website and 2 physical stores. The bootstrap company claims to have clocked 200% growth on a yearly basis since its incorporation in 2016. So what started as a page for dresses and saris has now expanded to menswear, threaded jewelry, and even home decor. I checked in with the company's co-founders to find out more about their journey. Take a look. It's the love for the drapes that made these two sisters quit their corporate jobs and become entrepreneurs to start a D2C brand that grew leaps and bounds in just over 5 years. What started with 2 weavers on Instagram has now grown to a community of over 16,000 weavers with over 150 employees and close to 3 lakh customers. To find out more about their 7-year journey, let's go inside and meet the co-founders of Suta, Tanya and Sujata Biswas, to learn more about their growth journey.
Our love started when we saw our grandmother and aunts and moms wearing saris forever and soft breathable ones.
We always wanted to start something on our own, and saris and this came together. So, and even Suanta came together like as if God wanted us to start something which means thread and also is Suanta. So yeah.
You've had quite the growth story. You've gone from 1 weaver to about 16,000 weavers today. Tell us how you went about growing this community. Can you tell us about that journey, and also what were the key challenges you faced while you were doing this?
So it was like a beautiful relationship. It started with just the 1 or 2 weavers because the husband and wife came on board, and slowly with word of mouth we started getting more and more people who wanted to join us. Challenges were varied because different villages have different way of working. So yeah, I think one at a time, supply chain issues, then there were middlemen, then they had issues with their houses, their own problems, the infrastructure. We also work for developing the infrastructure. So yeah, one thing at a time is what we solved. We didn't aim to make it big, it just started becoming organically big. So, yeah.
So it's like a community within itself where both of you coexist. Also, you started off on like Facebook and Instagram with just a single page. You've grown leaps and bounds since then. You've also got 2 physical stores now. Can you tell us that growth story, and also what are your growth targets going forward?
The growth has been really great because the demand has always been bigger than the supply. Going forward, we don't have numbers in the mind. We want to grow the base bigger. We want more employees, more weavers on board. We want to have more arts and crafts on Suta. We are experimenting. We don't want any of the crafts to die. That's the growth that we want to have. Having said that, we had 200+% growth each and every year.
But can you tell me what's your best selling product? I'm going to hazard a guess and say it's probably the sari. Where do you get most of your customers from? And what's the average size of an order? And how has this festive season been for you guys?
Yeah, I want to talk about the best-selling products. So it's all, of course, saris and blouses. But you know, our Made in Heaven Mal sari, that's a name. That's a Malmal sari, which is a plain sari. That's our bestsellers till date. We started with that. Our average size order is around 4,000. So yeah, that's it.
The festive season has been fantastic. People during COVID have realized that you know, the importance of slow fashion. Also trying to experiment with a lot of different kind of you know, wear. So for example, non-sari wearers have shifted to wearing sari, and also people have started giving a lot of importance to comfort.
So can you tell us a little bit about your business model? You not only have saris, but you've got other products as well. So what are you planning on foraying into? Any new categories in your mind? And also, what's your turnover been like so far?
So apart from saris, so we started with dresses, and somehow we shifted to saris because we were looking for raw material, and we felt, oh my god, if I am going to cut a sari and make something, might as well have saris, because we love saris, and hence we shifted to saris. And we are coming back now to dresses. So we have now dresses, we have menswear, which is like a big hit, and we're super happy. In just one first collection we have launched. We are also going to work with a lot of threads, so thread and jewelry. So thread we are going to work with, we have handkerchiefs, we have crunchies, we have curtains. So we have different things. We're getting into home decor, and we are going to make kids wear also like a center stage, because cotton is super good for kids. So we're going to experiment with a lot of kids wear.
We started with a revenue of 40 lakhs and after 5 years, which is last year, we clocked 30 crores. And coming year, we are looking at doubling or tripling it.
You have so many celebrities that have worn your saris, but Sujata, you end up being the model for all of them. So tell me how that came about.
I love this question. You know how it started, because we are not from this industry, so we didn't know who to reach out to for photo shoots. I love photography and I was doing some wedding shoots and stuff. So what happened was, when we started with the products, we wanted to shoot it with a minimum budget because we didn't want to splurge and go all out. So she was the model and she used to say only headless photos, okay, no face. And one fine day, I just took a picture of her head and I said, Sujata, you're looking so pretty, let's just put it. And after a lot of reluctance, she said yes.
Tell me a little bit about your tryst with Bollywood as well.
So one fine day, we are in this garage shop where we actually put the shutter down, half shutter, and we are just doing some work inside. A lady comes in and she says, "मैं Dharma Production से आई हूँ and this is what Karan wants, and it's my photo." And I'm like, "Who Karan?" Like, "Karan Johar." And I'm like, "Wow, he wants this. He's seen me." She's like, yes, this is you. And yeah, he wants exactly the same look. And that was for Lust Stories. They picked the entire set of whatever Kiara Advani wore, and it was fantastic. And when we got the check, we literally felt like not encashing it, and we thought we'll frame it and keep it forever. It was such a beautiful story. And then after that, we had different production houses pick it, but the first one was super special.
Also, tell me what makes you guys tick as founders. Are your roles sort of divided?
Not really. We get this question a lot, really, that who looks at what. But literally on the bed, we sit together and look at everything together. There's no divide. And also, we don't have a divide even between personal life and professional life, because we consider this very personal. And it's a very personal thing for us.
With an increase in digital adoption, we're going to see the emergence of more brands, D2C brands like Suta. But the question will remain, how many of them can keep their customers engaged and hooked?